What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, and I'm hoping you're having a great day. And if you're not, just remember it's the thoughts in our head. That's all they are. So we either got to shut them off or do something physical, shake it out, jump it out, put on some music, something, some sort of prompt to get you from thinking of the things that you're thinking about to something positive, something that will change your feelings, right? That's all it is. And if you are having a great day, just remember, keep going, just keep doing it. Be in the moment, be present, and enjoy it. Okay, so for today's episode, I want to make this one somewhat of a shorter one, really quick. Not really quick. It's going to be a few minutes. But here's what happened, and here's the perspective. The macro level of things, right? The big picture is being upfront. I think being honest and upfront with whatever situation presents yourself, okay? And so the example was I had to go get tires changed for the Classic. Luckily, I'm into classic cars, so I owned 2000 RX 300, beautiful Lexus. You can look it up. You can look up how classic it is. So whatever. We went to go get tires changed on the front, which were great. They needed it. But here's one thing that I went to a Walmart, right? That's where we were in Orlando, and went to a Walmart. I'm like, okay, Patty went to go hang out with her cousins, friends, family for a birthday party. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay at the resort. I'll do some things. I got to get things done anyway. Went to Walmart. I was like, all right, let's get some tires. I'm waiting in this Walmart because it gets busy. And I feel like most of the Walmarts get busy anyway. Like, there's a shit ton of people there. And so what they've done is, like, when it gets busy, or during the busy times, it's by appointment only. So I was lucky enough to go in, and I was like, hey, I'd like to get, you guys have time? He was like, dude, we got one more spot left, 1 o'clock. Would you like to take it? I was like, yes, done. I'll take it. Thank you. So 1 o'clock came by. There's a couple of people that didn't have an appointment. And so the guys are outside sort of like, hey, do you have an appointment? So I people watch, right? I situation people. This is what I love to do, because I love to just be like, what's going on in everybody's head? I just want to know. Like, look at the situation. What are we doing? Okay. And so the situation was, one of the guys came out. He's like, hey, man, like, I just want to get an oil change. He's like, sorry. What did he say? He said something like, what did he say? He just said, like, they couldn't take him. It was somehow, so really the idea is, like, somehow he was just like, hey, sorry, man, we can't, we're all booked up. I think he said something like that. We're all booked up. We can't take you right now. And then he started just to, like, walk away, right? The guy, the Walmart guy, like the customer service guy or whatever. And so I was just like, and then the guy just came back, like the guy that needed the oil change came back to him and was like, hey, man, but what about, like, I can't just get my oil changed? Like, what? Like, and so then again, the Walmart guy turned around and was like, hey, man, listen, it's all by appointment only. So if you don't have an appointment, you either have to call, try to make an appointment for later tonight. But right now we're fully booked for the day. Right. And I felt like, and that's when I was like, this is a learning situation of just being upfront, right? Like, taking the extra couple of seconds to be upfront with somebody, and not even be like, maybe not even extra seconds, but like to allow and be okay the fact that, like, even if I'm being upfront and the person may not want to hear what they have to say, and now if it's the situation calls for, right? Because, like, some situations, maybe people don't need you to tell them, right? Like, they're not there yet, right? They're not open to, like, evaluation or just suggestions or things like that, right? Because who is, like, I remember for the longest, I was not open to anybody telling me anything unless I seeked it, and I'm still sort of that way. It's like, if I'm seeking it, then tell me. But now I'm more open to, if someone sees something and they say it, I'm open to at least hearing it through, and I logically, like, process it, and I'm like, well, does it make sense? And if it does, all right, cool, then I'll do it. If it doesn't make sense, I'm like, thanks, but nah, not at this moment. You know what I mean? So I feel like the perspective here is, one, be okay to be honest with people I don't want to say in certain situations, in most situations that are going to affect you and affect the other person. Because I feel like the Walmart guy could have just had, like, explained to him, could have been like a few more minutes, not even a few more minutes, and I'm sure he's busy, but it could have been a couple of minutes, an extra 30 seconds, really is what it is, to say, hey, man, I totally understand. I get it. Like, here's the thing, though, because it gets a little crazy. we are only doing appointments only. However, if you can try to make an appointment today. If not, let us take down your phone number and we can call you if you're in the area. Or there's another Walmart 3.7 miles away from here, which I did the research. I'm like, oh shit, look, there's 3 Walmarts within 3.7 miles of each other, right? So like, again, not that the person or any of the individuals were wrong in this situation, because like it got figured out. I would say the guy maybe didn't get an oil change, and the guy went, and the Walmart guy just gave him enough information to let him know that he can't. But again, could it have? In my perspective, I'm like, man, I think it could have worked out a little better for everybody in that situation if the Walmart homie, was just took the little. And again, I don't think it's time based, because he came back and he told him that the second time, right? But it's like, as the other individual, or the person that was looking to get the oil, I think it would have been a just much better response if he would have done that from the get go and was just pretty much honest, like, hey man, because it gets fucking crazy. We're not even just saying, hey, right now we're an appointment only, but here's some other options for you, instead of just kind of like turning his back and walking away, which was the first thing. It's like, no, sorry, we can't do it today, and like sort of turned away. So that was the perspective, right? And so on a macro sense, so the micro is really figuring out, when are those situations for ourselves? Like, when are we less maybe upfront or honest in regards to like what the situation is and why you don't want to do things, or why you do want to do things, or why this would be the best way of going. So I don't know. So I hope that can give you a little something, or maybe you can ponder and reflect on that and really just see like what what situation could deem a little bit more of like understanding, like, hey, maybe I just need to say it like a little bit more upfront and honest. That was my thought. And I think for me, there's certain situations I think that I've grown from, or I've progressed from, in terms of doing that, right? There's certain times where I felt like there were moments within myself that like I felt like I needed to people please, and I feel that came obviously from like the past of like, hey, just wanting to do the right thing, wanting everyone to be happy, and I still want everybody to be happy, right? But I feel like there's a line, or there's responsibility, and I think a line of respect for yourself and for others, right? Not just for yourself, but for others as well, to be able to like communicate honestly about what you're feeling and why you do or you don't want to do something that may be prompted for you or to you, right? Like when people want to, I don't know, tell you or say something to you in a way that like, hey, you should do this or XYZ. It's like, or maybe you should blah, 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 or hey, let's go do this. And you don't really want to, instead of like just forcing yourself to do so because you don't. I think being upfront and having good, honest communication with the other individual and saying, hey, I respect, thanks for sharing with me, or XYZ, but like, I just don't feel that way right now, or whatever the case is, versus like either doing it and then having some sort of resentment or like anger because you did it, because you did it and you're like, fuck, I didn't want to do that. And then like that just adds to, I would say, the negative vibes within you yourself in the relationship, especially if you go and do it and you're like hating doing it. And or like the scenario or the example, it's like maybe that guy, like, and it's funny because the guy was upset. He's like, oh, this is unbelievable. Walmart, I can't even get my oil change. And I get that thought, I understand it. But really the perspective is too, is like, there's only 4 people in the bay and like, there's a shit ton of people trying to get last minute, auto repairs. So it makes sense, so I feel like it's just being able to be upfront with people, and giving people the information they need in order to like understand your perspective, and not feel or not come out of this interaction situation in a negative manner, because I feel like there's you can go like anytime you're in a situation and something like another outcome comes from it, which is basically all situations, you have one or two options, right? Like the energy and the vibe that you leave from that situation can either become a negative or can become a positive, right? Like it's either or. And I feel like we have the ability to become aware of that, and to like create that type of vibe that we want based on how we speak to each other, ourselves internally, and then how we speak to other people, like other human beings internally. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's this one, nice and short. I hope you guys are having a great day. Keep crushing it. And just think to yourself, when, like even today, to think to yourself, what situation can I just be honest and upfront about how I'm feeling, why I want to do something, why I don't want to do something, why we think we should X, Y, Z. Figure it out, whether it's at work, at home, with your other halves, etc. But being upfront with truly honest communication and putting it in a way, working on how you speak to people and yourself, I think is super important. All right, homies, have a good one. Keep crushing it. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. Peace.